Good morning, traders. Welcome to daily webinar. To all my YouTube viewers, glad to see you again. As one trader is always right, glad to see you. I'm glad to see all of you every time. This week, I'll probably put out much more videos for you guys. Last week, I didn't. I promised, but I didn't. So this week, I'll try my best to put out much more videos, maybe more than one a day. So if you really follow me, if you understand, if you would like to see these videos, if you're watching this video for the first time and you would like to have more of those, please go subscribe and set up the notification. You will get it, right? If you would like to join our group, because I don't want to do this in the middle, if you would like to join our group, send me a message, check the description. My Skype is there, my Facebook is there. Send me a message, I'll give you all the details. Let's go now. Dollar index. Dollar index, we are looking at an up move. I explained this last week to you guys that it's not going to break out, but it's going up and down, which is what we're trading it up and down. We trade it to the bottom here. I said, watch it when it comes here, it's going to turn. There's going to be a buy setup here today, probably to get to this top. If not today, if it comes deeper, no problem. Sometime this week, if it becomes a flat like this, also no problem. It could become like that. It could become like this. See these flats in here? Now, I don't think it will be a flat. I think it's probably going to come here. We might even see one more down before we go. Now, this is not a must, but it's likely. It's very likely that when it comes here, it's probably going to come back down one here to make one of these come, because I'm looking at this as the B wave. Right, so which means we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, if I'm wrong about that, and this is the B wave, which I really don't like, it doesn't look good, right? Then we have 1, 2, 3, and this is going to take off. So you definitely want to buy it, regardless, right? So we will be looking for the buy. The question is if you can manage it, if you have strategies of how to manage it, and if you have very good rules on your money management and your trade management. Which means if it starts to do this, you don't get stuck in the trade. And I think this is one of the most important things I've been looking at. Traders who take trades, follow what I do, take the trades. And then when we are already out of the trade and even looking for an opposite trade, they're stuck in that trade. So I am not making trade calls for you guys. I'm showing you, I'm analyzing the chart, showing you how we analyze the chart using wave analysis. Now, that doesn't mean we don't take trades. We take trades in our trading room, which meets 5, 6, 7 times live daily. As a matter of fact, when I came in this morning, the guys were already there discussing trades and taking trades, right? So that's where we do it, because in that place, we have enough time to do everything, analyze it in terms of which strategy we're going to use, what will be the money management risk in it, how you're going to double your risk to half your risk, go with regular risk, where you're going to put your stops. Everything is discussed there, which we don't do in this analysis. So please don't just take a trade and say, hey, look, I'm in the trade you said to take and now I'm stuck. Right? Don't do that. I'm not telling you to take any trade. Let's go. So here's what we're looking for. We're looking for this correction to finish, and it could get bigger. If it gets bigger, no problem. Will we get a sell set up at any point in time? I don't think so. I don't think I'll be really looking for a sell. If that comes up, we'll wait a decision of whether the risk to reward in the sell is good, right? But this is a correction for upside. And then when it gets here, if it breaks out, good for us. If it doesn't break out, it turns. It gives us straight setup. Then we will sell this back to the bottom here. And then the big buy comes. So let's see which one it's going to be. Silver. Okay, so this one came and broke the top, which is what we're looking at. That's more of a top, seeing if it's going to break that top. What it's going to do, this is sharp. I was expecting a little different when I put that top. I was expecting this to be more corrective and then come back here and then go. That is why I have that top there. So we were trying to see, but this went up sharp. So which means it's coming down, but it's not coming down as the move that will drop, because you're still left with this as your impulsive move up. This is sharp, this is sharp. This seems to be making some correction. This looks like it's going to be the most corrective part in it, looking at the way this is going. So if this becomes the most corrective part, we're going to have a series of up and down before we go out. Could this actually drop from here to the bottom? Possible, but rare, because this is really sharp. And I don't think this is one. I'm not looking at, let me erase all of this. I'm not looking at this as a 1, 2, 3 in terms of all the correction. I still think this is the impulse, and we're making some kind of a bigger running flat here for upside. Right? Now, is the upside going to be the one that totally goes up? I don't think so. This could also be a flat, which means if this works it way lower, and we get this move, and we get this move, and we get that, and we come back here, but somehow we're at the bottom of this move here, well, then it will still go back up. It has to go back up. But then when it gets there, we're going to drop, which means we make 1, 2, 3, we drop. We make 1, 2, 3, we drop. Right? So would it be a flat? Right now, it's not that flat as yet. It's too early to say it's making a flat because this consolidation is way at the top. So we're looking for the upside eventually. But if it comes lower and it becomes a flat, I can show you a series of those if you go back, where they just make flat drop, and like this one. See that first flat? That was a big flat. If you were there with me, we were looking for this to drop. But then it made another flat, and then it made a flat, and then this drops. Right? It's made another one, a bigger one here. Drop, make another one, drop, make another one, drop, go back, make a sharp one there. You can see that, and then drop. Right? So could it repeat these two flats at the top there and then drop? It's possible. We've seen that. One, if you make another flat there, that will drop. Now, I can't say that's a flat as yet. Again, we don't have any reason to do that. Not that it can become a flat. We just don't know how deep this correction is going to come. So right now, if you're trying to trade in here, they're very small term trades. I can tell you right now that this is a small flat in here. This one here is going to probably break down, but because you have this sharp move here, which I don't think belongs to this, I believe it's going to belong to this one here. We'll go back up there, and then you probably have a chance of a sell if you want, if you get a nice sell set up here to come break that low. Because I'm breaking it down for you guys to the point where if you understand anything about wave analysis, you can literally trade it. Assume that it's going to go back up sharp and then come back to this level. By that time, we might be here. And if that happens, we're going to look for a move up and then a drop. See? Now, this is where wave analysis gets complex. So it's not as simple as I show you sometimes, because what I do is I've already prepared it and showed you. This is where it gets complex. So one guy wrote me, by the way, over the weekend, not this weekend, last week, I think. He said, I'm pretty good at wave analysis, but the problem is I get stuck in my trades. Well, he could be right. He probably is good at seeing the waves, not forecasting the waves, seeing the waves. That's a huge difference. Every one of us can see it, hindsight, and maybe even in the future you can see it. But forecasting it to every move and how it possible could develop means you know it absolutely well. That's the big difference between the doctor and all of us who reads on the internet, right? We all know what we're sick with when we read in the internet, right? As soon as you get a little cough or sneeze, you go read in it. Oh my God, I think I have this, right? We can all do that. That's the difference between what the doctor does and what we do. We all know what we're sick with when we have it, but we can't cure ourselves. We go to the doctor because he's the professional. He actually knows what he's doing, besides us thinking we knew what we were doing. See? So the same thing with trading waves. You look at it, you tend to see it and you think, I know it very well. Take off everything, give you a chart, and then you start seeing you really don't know it that well. Right? So please, if you're going to trade and you assume you know very well, still take caution. Trade very much with good risk management, money management, and if you have some kind of trade management, that will help you. Gold, it's coming down. We're looking for a buy, and as you can see, it's coming down deeper. It's not coming down as an impulsive move because, again, I don't think that's all the correction. But can you sell it to the downside? Well, if you're selling in a lower time frame, you probably can. That's a very low time frame. You'll probably have break even in a lot of trades. Right? This was an entry above it with a breakout. It didn't break out. Take out that. So it's coming down. You can probably sell these if you want, but they become break-even trades if you're a very cautious trader. If you're not, you probably lose your account. So these are not very good sells because you'll have to either get out really fast or you get break-even trades. Is it going to break to the upside? Well, most likely. I think we're going to go back up on this. We actually tagged the low. We broke the low, sorry, not very big. So sometimes when that happens, what you get is you get a more complex pattern in here. Right? Something like this and maybe something like this, and then eventually they break. Some part of it will be a running flat in it, right? Depends on how complex it becomes. What are the chances we're actually going to go back to the top there? Well, it's still possible. Nothing is impossible in the chart. And bearing in mind that they already finished 1, 2, 3, which is a pattern by itself. You can make an argument for that. It's sharp, but it's that. This can be two things. It can go back to the top. I doubt it's going to do that. I have my reason why. I'll tell you with the experience in trading. I think most likely this could develop into, you notice this one broke here and then develop into something like this. That could end up developing into something like this and then give us the final drop. So there might be some kind of consolidation going on here for a while, maybe this entire week before. I remember when I told you I thought this was the one that will be that bigger consolidation. Well, that didn't turn out to be the one. No problem. We still sold it. I think we sold it last week. We still managed to sell it, sorry. And now we're looking for this up, right? This could go up, not very far. I don't think it's going to be big. You'll have to be very, very cautious if you're trying to buy it. It's a buy, but you have to be careful. If it comes down much lower, which means if it crawls its way down, we're not selling this. This is not good sell, but if it crawls its way down to the bottom here, it still will give you a buy, but now you'll have to be cautious because this buy becomes a flat. I just explained that in the silver, right? Flat for the downside. Can it work its way up more like this? Well, if it does this, we'll see. We'll trade it both ways, and then we'll look for the one drop. I still think we're going to get that drop, and then we're going to get the upside because so far nothing has changed that for me. When I see the change in that structure, then I'll say, okay, good, there is a change in that structure. And if there is a change significant in many of the structures, I'll update them for you this week. Let's go. This one we're only selling. It doesn't matter what this does. We're only looking for sell setups and this, and there's a different reason for that, right? Remember, I showed you this very long ago when we'll start selling. We're selling this, we're selling that, we're selling this, right? This one is a sell. Then there are more sells, and sometimes my traders get aggressive and they sell much earlier than where I show you to sell. These are conservative sells. All the way from the top, we're selling, and we'll continue to sell it. When it goes up, we ignore it. When it starts to drop, we'll sell it because it's already doing what we expect it to do. I showed you this and I told you we're going to get this. It's coming down. This didn't drop in a single way, right? Single drop, right? It's wave analysis. So you'll have to take small pieces. At some point, though, you have to be cautious. There's going to be a bigger consolidation. So at some point, one of this is going to start to make a bigger consolidation. And then this sell becomes amazing. And if that happens, this sell becomes amazing. So we're looking at it as a 1, 2, 3, which means we'll likely go back up. So gold price might go back up as well. Euro. Okay, so we broke the top, we make the sideways. You can see we're kind of in a sideways move there. At the top, you're not buying. If you were in my room on Friday, you would know that we looked at this and said we're not buying at the top. We wanted to break the top, and then we're looking for possible sell setup or a consolidation before we do anything. It did what we expected to do, and I think this is not the end of it as well. I think this is going to come here. Now, I think this is the most corrective part in it, so we'll probably get this one. Maybe a small sell here, or ignore the sell even if it's not worth it, and then look for the buy. Now, is this the buy that is going to break out to the top? I think so, but we'll see. Now, the question you may ask, well, why this doesn't break to the top and that is not all the correction? It's possible. I just don't like the way that this piece looks as a 1, 2, 3. Right, this piece looks at the B wave, and this one is much more corrective. So we're looking for sell setups, aware that that possibility is there. I don't think it's going to happen there. You have to be cautious when it come here, because from this point, I truly believe we're going to make a new high, and then from there we're going to see if it drops. Right, once it completes that flat, it's either going to drop or continue to go up. Now, again, just like in the dollar index, we still have this, and we haven't put it anywhere. Right, remember when we thought it was going to be this one? But then this turned out. So if this comes here and go back there, there's still a chance you can drop, and you might even come back up to complete this one. Right? This is going to be more like a 1, 2, 3 within this structure, and then it can finally drop. So it's in line with the dollar index. We'll see if that actually plays out. I still don't want to put this with this because it doesn't really fit there. We'll see. So look for a sell setup today. If you're looking for the trade of the day today, it's going to be more of a sell setup you're looking for. You have to be careful because there's a sharp wave here also, which means this at some point could drop and pull back, give you a running flat, and then drop. So that means you have to know what strategy to use to trade it so that you don't just get taken out and watch it drop. Pong. It's making a big flat here before it drops, because we have this sharp wave here. We got a sharp pullback. We get this, and we're coming down with this slowly here. We're probably going to go back. This doesn't look like the aggressive move that is going to break out. It might drop again. At some point, you'll have to go up. You'll have to come down, go back up. So complete this whole pattern and then drop. So every sell setup from the break of the top is a good idea. Until it breaks the top, you have to be careful of any sell because you're selling inside of the consolidation. So this might be a sell. This here could be a sell. If it works its way up slowly and drop again, it could be a sell. Not necessary that it will happen, but this could work its way up like this. See this how it goes? Very slow here, but then it climbs. So it could get slow and climb to the top here. If we get a good buy setup, we'll probably consider that. It's going to be this one. and then we'll come down for this. So drop like this again, go back up, and then come down. So you get something like this eventually. That's how I see this developing. We'll see if that changes, and then we'll know what to do with it. Aussie, upside, but not now. There's a big flat forming here. So first you'll have to come down. First, this thing here might just drop one more to this level, completing this big flat pattern, go back up like this, come back here, and then go. It will have to break this top, definitely, right? And then from that point, we'll see whether it's actually taking off. It would be a buy, right? Because if that takes off, we're coming to retest this top, right? If this pattern completes itself the way I show you there in those moves and then start to do this, we're definitely going to be buying it from the bottom, which means every time it comes back to the bottom, we will look for buys. Now it's incomplete, but once it's completed, that's what I expect it to do. It could come and retag this top, right? So we'll see what happens there. Bigger structure, this is just a deep correction within the same impulse, right? So watch for it, that could take off. If that's the end of the move here of this correction, it could take off. If it's not the end of the correction, they'll not go very far and they'll start to come down back. But the buy would still be amazing because there's a big move to the upside. So this one, I don't think it's ready to go. It has to come and break this low. So probably they'll drop, then go back up. It might be a little more complicated than that. New Zealand, we sell it to break the low. We're trying to sell it to break the low. We were in the trade and we had to close it because the news was coming, and for volatility purpose, you couldn't keep it. But you know, those who traded Friday who were in, you remember I said you can try your luck on this one. You could see whether it's going to drop further. If not, take it out. I think you did the right thing. Take that off. Once it breaks the low, you have to be very, very cautious because now we don't know whether we're going to totally fall or whether we're making a bigger correction here, right? Now, if you're making a bigger correction here, this is incomplete, which means we'll have to do something up like this. We'll have to come back here like this. And only then, because this I would look at as some kind of a running flat, and only then we'll get this to go up. If it is making that. Could it be that they're dropping? It could, but we don't have any sign here that this is dropping right now. You have a small running flat here and it's going up. You're getting a flag here for a buy. Not that I think this one will go very far, but we can buy it, see if it does this move here. So it might be a short-term buy setup for now. And then we'll see what that takes. It's under 1 hour, you don't have it very much, so you'll have to wait for some more consolidation, which means you have to wait for this to consolidate some more. And if it does that, then this becomes a buy. It might end up like this move for a running flat. Get something like that. And then from this point, we'll have to come back down and go. If we build this running, if this running flat forms, that means it's going to come back one more and then go. If they don't do that, which means if this starts to drop, it doesn't look like it's going to drop, but if it starts to drop, then we'll relook at the structure for coming to retest this low. CAD. Yep, so we broke the top. We can make an argument that this here was the contracting flat. It's possible it could be. You could make an argument that you're making this move up here. It's too short, but it could work. It broke the top. So that means at this point, can we assume that this is going to go make a new low? It could continue in the correction. I still think they might be correcting because you've got a nice pullback here. See that trade there? You've got a 1, 2, 3. So this could be a correction here when it comes for one more up. Most likely it's not going to break now. It's going to consolidate some more and we might break one more. But if we get the buy setup, we'll take it. Any buy setup we get there, even if we have to take break even, it will take it. So if this becomes a buy setup for the upside, we'll take the trade. Because there's a good chance it might go slow, and then eventually just take off. Right? You make an impulse, you make it, this will be the impulse, make a correction, make a small one correction, and then they just take off. Right? Because we broke the low here already. And that's the bigger picture, right? That's this one. We broke that low. It can still drop, and it can still drop, and it can still drop, but just breaking the low is enough. That qualifies for the turning point to come back to this stop. That is this move up, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to turn from there because they can go lower and then turn to the upside. So first we're looking for the buy. And if it breaks, we'll look for the sell setup, which means if we break out of this structure, then we would look for a sell setup. If any of my traders already in the sell, you just have to be very cautious with it. Yen. Nothing much happened here. This is not a trade. This was from last week, Friday. The trade would have been here and you would take break even, or you can take break even out of it from there, right? We're looking for a sell setup here. There isn't any sell setup right now, right? You can see it's probably going to consolidate bigger. I don't think we're taking off anywhere as yet. So this is more of a consolidation happening. Let it consolidate and then we look for a trade. We don't have a buy setup here, that's for sure. All right, yen is already at the top. We're the only consideration is whether it's going to go break this top. We don't have a full flag or a full flat here yet for a buy or sell. All right, so we'll just have to wait. Swiss, it's kind of going up sideways. We'll still look for the sell. This one is still going up a little. There's a small buy setup within this. It could come back here, maybe even go back up. You've got a flat here. This is pretty sharp, so I think we might make another flat somewhere here and then go back up and then drop. We're just consolidating. It's just consolidating. It's not taking off. Our consolidating, we will probably make one more drop, then go. Can it go up back from there? It can. This is the big flat we're in, big consolidation we're in. So they can go back one more up from this point, make a new high. We'll have to see if we get a buy setup. The buy setup is not there yet. Right now, it's more of a sell setup forming, which can drop one more. And from that point, either break or through or go back up one more, make a new high. See? So the question is, how do you look at this flat in here? And that is really complex. I wouldn't spend time do that here. We do it in our trading room, but not in here. That would take very long. Euros. Okay, it's going up, but it hasn't got to that level. So let's see where we are in the biggest structure. It's kind of consolidating in here. It might be the biggest consolidation you get. This was a trade on Friday. You probably would have closed it here. It seems like we're going to have another flat here. And we might get another trade here. I don't think we're going to break this low because I'm not looking at a contracting flat. I'm looking at a bigger correction forming here to go up. And if this goes up really slow, that means this sideways move will stay here for a long time. So on the sell side, the trades are very short term. Right? This sell was a short term sell. You probably had another one here if you sold. Now you got to be careful because I expect this to go back up. We don't have a sell. If this goes back very small here, if they make a very small flat there, which means if this goes back up here and then start to drop, you might get one more short term trade here this week before I think this goes back up. You're in New Zealand. Same, you made a move up, a move down, and right now we're stuck in the middle of this. I think this is a consolidation, this piece here. It's going to probably consolidate like this, go back up, and that will leave you with this flat. Then we have 1, 2, right? 1, 2. We're going to drop, probably make a new low. Make a new low here and then take off. It will go back up. Remember, don't confuse the monthly and weekly structure with the smaller structure, right? This will go back up there. It will absolutely go back up there. It's just a matter of finding that low on the weekly or the day or the monthly. Finding the low. You see how long it took to find this low? If you were here and you were absolutely sure that this will go back up, which I was absolutely sure about, it took one more drop, one more drop, one more drop, one more drop, then go. And this is the weekly chart. So each one of those drops take about 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Right? So it's not an immediate thing. Same thing here. We expected this one to take off and then it made a running flat. It's dropping. We broke the low. They could make another low. They could make another low. They could make another low, and then eventually it does that. So you're still watching and expecting for that to happen, which means every time you see a consolidation, you can sell. Every time you see a buy setup, you should take it. We don't have a buy setup in here as yet, so we'll probably wait for it. And if we do get a buy, we probably can still trade in this range. We were trading in this range, by the way. So we'll probably still trade in this range today. I think there's a buy and then a sell and then another buy, and then we'll see if we get a sell too. So we're trading in that range for the rest of the week. EuroCAD broke, it didn't go. Take that off, that's a break-even trade. We're gonna have another one here, we're consolidating, so we'll have another trade set up here. We're looking for a sell set up here again, right? It has to drop to this level. I think I showed you this pattern. We were expecting this, 1, 2, 3. Now I'm expecting 1, 2, 3 come to this level and then go back up like that for this one. So we'll see. Euro Swiss. It's kind of going sideways, and we're going sideways at the top, which might be a good sign. If you go sideways at the top, you're looking upside, right? So this is pretty sharp. This one is even pretty sharp too. So I don't know, we might start to get a series of sharp moves in here to make a flat and then go up. Let's see. We don't know that as yet. We'll have to wait. If I have a sell setup here, probably we can take the trade. Right, it's not a complete sell setup, but if it makes a sell setup, you could take a trade. It's going to be very short term. Right, which means I'm not expecting them to drop and break the low. We didn't even break that top. I'm expecting them to probably drop like this. You take your profit and go back up. Right, so we'll have to wait and see how this behaves. There is no buy setup. Euro yen. There is a buy setup here. We're going sideways. You can see this pattern. They kind of drop, go back up, drop, go back up, drop. You're going back up. But this is becoming a very big consolidation. So you have to be very cautious in that it might just come here and drop again. And I don't think this is going downside. I think this is going upside. Break the top again once more and then drop. It will go down, right? We know this will go down. It's just a matter of when it breaks that top. Remember when it was dropping to the bottom, I told you it's going to go back up. Go watch the webinar. You'll see there was a similar flat like the small flat there. This was a big one. And in one of my webinars, I did say to you, even if they break that bottom, break out of it, don't get scared, because what you have to do is start looking for buy setups then, because they're coming to break this top. Well, they'll probably break the top against once more. I don't know how it can go. It can work its way up all the way to this top and then come down. You will have a 1, 2, 3, and then we'll have a flat there. We still have a move coming into it. So we'll have a move going out of it. So right to the top there, you see this big flat. We have a very similar flat on the one already top there. See that? Now, can this come a little lower here and then go? Yes. The lower it comes, the more you look for the buy. Can we sell it to the downside? We don't have a sell here. Your palm? You look for a sell here. It's making a flag. We sold that, but that didn't go anywhere. So we took it off for break even. You have break even, you take it off, let it consolidate some more, and then we look for the trade. That's an incomplete consolidation flat going on right now. We look for a trade to come back and break this low. Pound Swiss. We're still consolidating. It hasn't gone anywhere. You're consolidating here. Kind of go up, pull back, go up, pull back. So it's probably going up. Let's see if we get another pullback here. And then we'll see if it breaks out or if it's going back up. So if we get a sell setup here, we'll take it. Do we have a buy setup? No, no buy setup at that level. Not as yet. If this is the takeoff from this low to go, it has to show a different structure before we start buying. Now, and the bigger structure, I think I showed you that and I explained it last week. There's a good chance that this here come back, we test this low. Now we broke the low again. You see, we broke the low again, which is important. Every time we break the low, they can go up. So when we broke this low, we were buying it. But then it went really slow. It's coming. Now I think this would probably consolidate here, drop one more, and then we start looking for buy setups. Can we look for buy setups from this point? We can, but there is no buy setup there. See? So that means I think this would eventually go lower. I think this here might eventually go lower. If it is going to become buy setups, it has to go do this, make flags here, and then we'll start to buy. So if it does this and stay here and then drop one more, we start buying from here. Would we sell this? Absolutely. On the breakout. Bancar. Sideways, still in the consolidation, and it's just getting bigger, right? This just got weirder there. You see, this is going up. It's good, but now you're in this here, and you're doing this, and you're going there. Probably come back here, make a big flat here, and then you still have these two sharp waves, 1, 2. So you still have to come back down and go back up, and that's a big flat for downside, which means it's not going down, right? Maybe this week we stay in that consolidation. If you can trade in the 5 minutes and 15 minutes, if you have that ability, you can find trades. If you don't fix them. Don't do what you can't do, right? Euros, or don't even try to do what you can't do, I should say. Euros, well, there's a sell setup here. We'll probably take this, let this go back up there, make a flat, and then we'll take that trade. This one did drop. Now, do I think this is going to totally fall? It's going slow. We'll take it and see where that leads us. We don't know. We might still be in some kind of a consolidation here. They come here and then they go back up like that, drop like this, go back up like that, and then drop. There's a good chance that is possible, or just go back up like this and then drop. I don't think this one would only match this, see? So this would be like 1, 2, 3. We have to come back down for this, and then there's a likelihood that this comes into play, which means you'd have to go back up for one more before you come down. Right? This up move here might be important. So let's see. Let's wait and see. But a sell setup is forming right now. You need it to go back up, and then we'll have a sell. If this goes back up to the top, then we have a sell setup. Pound Aus, that's Pound Aus, right? Yes. Pound New Zealand. It doesn't have anything. It's consolidating here now. We did break this. We're consolidating here. So we have to wait for this consolidation to finish, come back here, and then go back up. And then we'll see if we have a flat. So this could be a buy. This piece here we'll probably ignore. But once we see that it's breaking the low for a buy setup, we'll take it. That could be a short-term buy setup. Pound Yen. It's just going sideways. So take off this. That was a sell that is closed already. It didn't really go. You're getting this sideways here now. This could be a buy. You just have to be very careful because you're making smaller flats going up. See, just have to be careful with the flats you're making. Very small flats going up. I'd even put it like this, right, with this piece, and this one is trying to go up. So if you still put it like this, you still have this move correcting upwards, right? It breaks that top. The question is, how high would it go? So is it going to continue to do this, or is it going to continue to do this? You can buy this. There's the buy setup, but you have to be cautious because it could also do this. It could just tag that top and drop. So once it breaks that top, there's a sell setup going here. We haven't broken the top, but when we break the top, my sell setup goes there. When the top is broken, that's where I put my sell. Now, whether I'm buying that or not, right now we're still considering it. If you can manage to get out for break even, let's say it just breaks this top like this and start to come, then you can manage to take the loss or get out for break even. You'll probably take a smaller loss, maybe somewhere here on the downside, or get out for break even. Then good for you. You can take the trade because you might get lucky and it might do that. But I'm not playing in luck. This is the impulsive move down. This is the corrective move up. So how far can the correction go? It can come and break this top and then come back here and make a new high. That'd be a running flat if it breaks. If it doesn't break the top, come back here and go. It could be a regular flat. As long as we go back to the top, it's going to be a flat. As it stands right now, if it just breaks that top and drop, that's a perfect sell you don't want to miss. Aussie Yen. Same here, we are breaking out. We saw this, see this pattern here breaking out. Now, this is not very sharp, which is telling me that there's a good chance that if we get buy setup here, we might take it because this move just came down like, more like this without any sharpness. So if you get any buy setup here, might be worth it. This looks like it's going to go there, come back here, and then go. So keep a stop under the low. It's either this becomes a bigger consolidation here, we make a flat, or just tip the top and decide to drop like the Pound Yen. But it doesn't have a good sell setup in it. Aussie, New Zealand. Okay, you still have to wait for it to consolidate some more if you're going to go for any buy setup above this top, right? So they made this consolidation and it went up, and you probably might consolidate here, make a flat. And if you get this, that's a perfect buy. Wait for the flat, take the buy. Aussie, Swiss. This was a nice sharp move down, and we're literally just going back up sideways. We're not going up. This piece is strong, but this would probably come back here. And if it comes here, you get a flat, and that becomes a buy setup. Now you might be stuck within this sideways move for a while, or you might just take off. I think it's most likely stuck because this is relatively sharp. It's not a flat pattern. So we're either going to make a flat here or we would look for a down move. I think it's most likely making a flat. Go back to the top like this, then come back down. See, go back to the top, come back down, and then go again. Aussie Cat. It's breaking out, but that is not a good buy. As a matter of fact, if you put it like this, you might be looking for a sell. See this? Because this looks pretty flat, this piece. So which means this could come back here slowly like this. And then go back up like that. How deep this come, I don't know, then go back up like this, completing this one as a flat before it comes back down here and then go, making a bigger flat here maybe. Let's see the bigger picture. That is possible. That's quite possible. Make a big flat out here and then take off. This would be the low. So on the daily, yep. This would be all the correction. You make a flat there, come back like this, go back there, make a flat, come down here, you'll get this big flat here. And that'd be a perfect buy. So you can buy up, you can sell down, and then you can buy back up. Go back to the 1 hour and trade it now. Right? You probably don't want to trade this down move, let it happen, and then look for a buy, and then look for a sell, and then another buy. New Zealand Swiss. Okay, this is in a big sideways move, really, really big sideways move. See? And again, we're not looking at this as all the correction, so I don't think this one is going to take off to the upside. I think it might come retest this low first. So put it in the 1 hour. We're going up, but not very aggressive. See that they broke this one, drop there, make a flat. This looks more like a flat right now. So if I'm going to be doing any buying in this has to break out, make a flag here, and only then we'll consider a buy. Right now, it can come back here first, and then you get a buy. If it comes back to this level, we'll look for a sell under the low, see whether you make this again, right? Or from this level, it goes back up, and you get a buy within this structure. So in a consolidation, any of those two possibilities could happen. New Zealand CAD. We'll just have to wait and see what this does, because we're either consolidating at the top here, the breakout, or we're trying to make a flat here to break down. I think the breakout is more likely because the depth of this pullback. New Zealand yen. Okay, you're making a big flat here. It's going sideways. I believe this is making some kind of a big flat in this area here, something like this. Come back here, maybe go back up and then drop. This looks more like a big flat for a drop, not for the upside. This is useless. This was when it was making this flag here, not the big move. Swiss yen, upside, but this might be a flat, right? This might come here. This is relatively sharp. See that running flat? There's relatively, you can't say it's sharp, but it's relatively. Take this trade, and then if you break through that top, good for you. If it just comes here and start to go down, you have to go for break even. Expect them to do this, make another one. I'm sorry, come here, make this flat, and then make an impulse up. So this is already becoming a flat. CAD Swiss, consolidation and then downside. Right? This is consolidation, and then it's going to make a new low. I think I showed this structure. This is the biggest flat in it. So we're expecting a move down like this. When this consolidation finishes, you're going to get a move down like that. Complete this flat, go back up, come back down. Complete the entire flat. Go to the 1 hour. Wait for sell setups. It's going sideways. You don't have anything as yet. Yeah, Cadian, we did. Sorry, this is the, oh, yes. Okay, if you sold, we broke the low, you take it off. You might get a buy here. If you get a buy setup, you might want to take it. Chinese yuan, so this should be a good trade. It could break out of this whole structure. See? So this might be a good one. I think there's a very likely chance it's going to break out. So, okay, guys, I'll stop this here. I'll put out the second part for those of you who follow me. I'll put out the second part later. All right, so watch this, and then you'll get a second part to watch probably in an hour or two later, right? Thank you very much. If you like it, share it.